Hey viewers, QuirkDude76 here. What's there to say about the iconic gaming franchise known as Mortal Kombat? Mortal Kombat! Okay, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna say that again. But what's there to say about Mortal Kombat? Mortal Kombat is one of my favorite video game franchises of all time. If it's not Sonic the Hedgehog I'm playing, or My Hero Academia, All Justice, or fuck, even Spider-Man PS4 or God of War, it's definitely Mortal Kombat I'm playing most of the time. I love the NetherRealm games. I haven't played MK9, but I did play Mortal Kombat 10 up to Mortal Kombat 1. And definitely out of those three, I love Mortal Kombat 10, but that's a story for another day. Now, I'm not here to talk about the video games. I'm here to talk about its movie franchise. And ever since the 90s, the Mortal Kombat series has been on a rocky relationship with the cinemas. Now, with Mortal Kombat 2 coming out in the theaters, I think it's about time I give my love and respect and review these Mortal Kombat movies. I know there's the animated movies like Mortal Kombat Scorpion's Revenge and Mortal Kombat Battle for the Realms, but I'm not going to be reviewing those mainly because I'm aiming towards a more directed towards movies that are theatrically released. So with that out of the way, let's take a look at the original 1995 Mortal Kombat, directed by Paul W.S. Anderson, famous for directing Predator vs. Alien. Oh, I'm sorry, Alien vs. Predator. God. Anyways, this movie follows the Shaolin monk Liu Kang, played by Robert Shaw, who has a vendetta against the sorcerer Shang Tsung, played by Cary Fukushima. I hope I'm pronouncing that name right, but I have a hard time saying this actor's name. But he has a vendetta against Shang Tsung mainly because he killed, I believe, his brother. I think it's his brother or it's his cousin. See, this is what happens when you have these movie-themed characters that really don't do much in the story. But he's then approached by Hollywood actor Johnny Cage, played by Lyndon Ashby, and Special Forces agent Sonya Blade, played by Bridget Wilson. They are also approached by the Thunder God Raiden, played by Christopher Lambert, who aids them on their journey to Mortal Kombat as, well, they survive in the tournament, pretty much. While also Liu Kang learns a little bit more about Outworld and his love for the Outworld princess Kitana. So this is the very first Mortal Kombat movie and came out almost 35 years ago. Make it 36, but holy shit, 30 years ago. Man, holy fuck. But anyways, yes, this is the very first Mortal Kombat video game, very first Mortal Kombat movie, and it came out during the time of, I believe, the original game and Mortal Kombat 2, or it was 3. I don't know, I didn't really grow up playing the 90s games, but what are my thoughts on this movie? As someone who really didn't grow up with the original video games, or let alone the 3D era, I think this movie's weird. I mean, let's be honest. Whenever I hear people talk about the original Mortal Kombat movie, they're generally people who have been fans of the games for a long time. I've heard many people say, hands down, this is the best Mortal Kombat movie, while others bash Mortal Kombat Annihilation and despise Mortal Kombat 2021, and for some reason the animated movies, which I don't really understand. But what are my thoughts on this movie? I don't see it. I don't see how people love this movie. I gotta be honest. Now, don't get me wrong. This movie right here is actually a genuine good movie. I think Paul W.S. Anderson did an okay job directing this movie. And I think, for what it's worth, you're getting a decently good action movie in the 90s. But my issue is this. Why the fuck did you guys put this at a PG-13 movie? Now, yeah, sure, when you look at the original games look very tame compared to now, but back then, it was fucking brutal to the bone. It's no wonder why M for Mature was born, but if you want to make a Mortal Kombat game, you can't take away its gory action, you can't take away that. So I don't understand why it's a PG-13 movie when it could have been an R-rated movie. Up to rank with those movies like either like fucking Friday the 13th maybe, or even fucking Halloween or Aliens. So that's one issue I have with this movie. Now, what are my thoughts on the characters? Well, unfortunately, the characters aren't interesting enough. I mean, I thought Liu Kang was actually I thought Liu Kang was a good character. I love the actor Robert Chu, who did a fantastic job being this character of and representing him. But I feel like his arc is kind of generic, with him on a vendetta against Shang Tsung, him falling in love with a princess, going after to save the princess, fighting off against Shang Tsung. I don't know. I just feel like when it comes to making a Mortal Kombat movie, they tend to make up its own story when Mortal Kombat in itself didn't really have a story. But who are fans of the games, mainly those who play the games, they're not there for the story. They're there for the fucking action. And for here, the story doesn't really do much to evolve the world it builds. Now, what about Johnny Cage, played by Lyndon Ashley? Well, I thought he was good. I mean, granted, I think Carl Urban's going to surpass Lyndon Ashby, but, he actually does a good job portraying that dickhead and cocky and egotistical Hollywood big-time actor that Johnny Cage is. And for Sonya Blade, I gotta be honest, she was kind of bland. I mean, Bridget Wilson was brought in at the last minute because apparently it was supposed to be Cameron Diaz who was supposed to play Sonya Blade after her performance in The Mask. But unfortunately, she sprained her wrist. So Bridget Wilson was brought in at the last hour. And I gotta be honest, I think she did an okay job with the material she had. But as a whole, her character didn't really do much. Now, what is a character that actually pissed me the fuck off was Raiden. Now, look, I am a huge fan of Raiden. I think Raiden's one of the best Mortal Kombat characters ever. So what do you think this movie does? Instead of portraying him with a Chinese or an Asian actor that's showing the respect for the video games, they have fucking Christopher Lambert as Raiden, and I think he is one of the worst, hands down the worst part of this movie. Christopher Lambert should have won a fucking Razzie for this, because his dialogue is so horrendous. I shit you not. I don't know who in the hell would make Raiden be portrayed by a white man, but god damn it, I hate Christopher Lambert as Raiden. He is one of the worst parts of this movie. I don't even know why people say this movie's great when you have people like Christopher Lambert. Excuse me. But who in the right mind? Like, I don't want to lose control, but this movie almost made my worst, until I forget that Mortal Kombat Annihilation exists, which we're going to talk about that movie next time. But Mortal Kombat 9, this movie almost would have been very bad because of Christopher Lambert. Now, who saved this movie was the late Cary Hotokawa. Yet again, I hope I'm pronouncing that name right. If not, I'm sorry. But it's his performance as Shang Tsung. Holy shit. Cary Hotokawa does a fantastic job. And I think he was a fantastic cast as Shang Tsung. This dude is terrifying. You can easily tell that he's an evil sorcerer. You can tell by his voice, you can tell by the dialogue, you can tell by how evil he is. Especially that famous line, "Your soul is mine." And it's so funny how it was also recreated in MK11. And I was saddened by hearing of his unfortunate death, which, rest in peace. The dude was an absolute legend. But yeah, I think he was one of the best parts of Mortal Kombat 95, and I think he saved that movie. Thank God. Now, as for the other characters, well, there really isn't that much to say about the other characters. They aren't really there to push the story. As a matter of fact, they're just there for fan service. I mean, two of the infamous cases, Scorpion and Sub-Zero, they're just like guards. They're just like toys for Shang Tsung. And this is one of the parts where I feel like, how the hell do people love this movie? This movie is bad. This is a not good movie because They don't treat the characters as justice. I mean, there is no way that Scorpion would work with Sub-Zero. Granted, you could say they're under the control of Shang Tsung, but still, if we go by the original game logic and game lore, Scorpion and Sub-Zero are rivals. In this case, we know this Sub-Zero is Bi-Han, who in turn became Noob Saibot. But we know this Sub-Zero is Bi-Han, and that Scorpion is Hanzo Hisashi from the Shirai Ryu clan. In turn, when the Lin Kuei, Sub-Zero's clan, murdered the Shirai Ryu, aka Scorpion's clan, who later killed his wife and son, and then later killed him, but he was resurrected by Quan Chi. And you know what? I'm not going to talk about this bullshit. But yeah, I am so disappointed that these two characters don't really do much in this movie besides being there for the fans. And I think that's actually kind of really disappointing. And I'm so glad that Mortal Kombat 2021 really fixed things up with these two characters, which we'll talk about that soon. And other characters like Kano and Reptile, unfortunately, they don't even do much in this movie either. I thought Kano was going to have a great arc in this movie with Sonya Blade, but it wasn't really there. And Reptile, goddamn, her Reptile look horrendous. Thank God his human form saved them from being a total abomination. But one of the other cool things about this movie is the special effects and the settings. The settings in Area were shot beautifully well on actual landmarks, and the special effects are actually, well, if you don't really count Reptile's design, then I think we're safe with that, but the special effects were good at its time. I especially love the Goro animatronic, which, fun fact, Goro was voiced by Kevin Michael Richardson, who you may know for voicing Bulkhead in Transformers Prime and the Shredder in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2012. So, all the while, this movie is just okay. Or, it's not a good movie. Like, look, you can be entitled to your opinion. You can be entitled to what you say, to what you believe in. In my opinion, Mortal Kombat 1995 is not a good movie. It definitely isn't. It has bland characters, a story that doesn't really fit well, terrible dialogue, terrible acting. I'll say this right now with Christopher Lambert. And the only thing that's stopping from this movie to having my fuck you rating is Cary Houtagawa and the special effects and the Goro animatronic. Any action, like the action's good and the score is fucking fantastic, given the infamous Mortal Kombat theme song. But those are the only things that could save this movie from getting my fuck you rating. All the while, this movie gets a 2 out of 10 in my opinion. This movie is not a good movie. Like, this movie right here definitely isn't said to be the best video game movie. In my opinion, I think the best video game movie is honestly Sonic the fucking Hedgehog. And, you know, compared to those movies, Sonic the Hedgehog is a literal fucking masterpiece compared to Mortal Kombat. So yeah, that's my review on Mortal Kombat 1995. I think it's a not good movie, and I definitely think it's not the best video game movie as people say it is. But what we are going to be talking about is a movie that I consider to be the worst video game movie ever made. At least Super Mario Bros. 1983 was able to make this movie look better. Mortal Kombat Annihilation. And when it means by annihilation, I mean by annihilation. Short version is, this movie's going to be fucking awful. But stay tuned for that review. This is Quirk Dude 76 signing off, and I can't even finish it because I stutter. Holy shit, this movie's gonna be so bad.